So in today's video, we're going to learn how to read a nutrition label. Keep it very simple, and hopefully, guys that do know it, thumbs up to you. And if you guys don't know it, hopefully I can teach you and you can learn something useful so you can make better dietary choices. Sound good? All right then, let's begin. Now to give you an example, I'm going to be using some whole wheat organic rolled oats, as you see right here. Now this can be anything, any grocery store you go to, including junk food, everything has a nutrition facts label. Now the nutrition label is called nutrition facts, simply right there, nutrition facts. So now let's look at the main misconception. Well, one of the first main misconceptions is, let's pretend this is a chip bag, for example. Now when you look at the nutrition facts label, you're gonna look under calories. So you say, wow, 190 calories, that's not too bad. If I eat about 2,000 calories a day, this well fits in, so you underestimate your calories. But then, there's a very small important detail that some people miss, and that is servings per container. So you take that 190 calories times 18, which gives you roughly about 3,500, or to be exact, 3,420 calories. That's more than what people eat in a whole day, so if this was a chip bag, it's a little bit more in calorie, but you can assume, based on how many servings, usually they're 9 or 10. So you take that and you times that, you're going to get an actual number of calories. But don't forget, it's not just calories. Wait. Sorry about that. But now, as I'm saying, it's not just calories, it's everything else. So let's say if there's cholesterol, for example, if there wasn't any cholesterol, you times that as well as a saturated fat, the sodium, and the sugars. So this will be 18 grams of sugar, which is not too bad considering this whole thing, but for the main example. So basically everything, guys, that you see right here, the main thing is right here, servings per container. Whatever it says there, that's approximately what you have to time. So whatever you eat, let's say you ate maybe 2 seconds, you times it by 2 based on how many servings. And of course it shows you the serving size, which is about half a cup dry. So half a cup would be probably about like that much of a cup. So if you have 2 or you have a whole cup, well, then it's times 2. So for that example, instead of 7 grams of protein, you get 14 grams of protein. Sometimes you can say, wow, you can get a whole bunch of nutrition. So just some simple misconceptions. Now, one big problem with nutrition facts is they only label the macros and then a few of the basic nutrients, but a lot of times they don't label magnesium, other things, unless it's specific. So instead of using this, use something like Cronometer, or just go online, Google it. You can Google any food. You'll get much more detail based on other minerals and nutrients that you need, including vitamins. So it's not going to label, like you see right here, it has vitamin A, vitamin C, and calcium. Where's D, E, and all the other vitamins? They won't show, so maybe yes, it doesn't have, but it does have magnesium, even though it's not labeled there. So that's why you have to check yourself. Oh, I'm not eating any magnesium. So this is approximately, it's a good indicator. So you know how many calories you're eating, and especially the macros. And by that I mean the proteins, lipids, fats, or carbohydrates. And one funny or one interesting thing, another way to interpret this. Now if I remember correctly, per gram, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories versus carbs and proteins, which only have 4 calories per gram. So based on how many grams, that's how many calories. So if you do a little calculating, you can kind of find out how much is in each food based on the ratio. Or like I said, you can Google it, make your life a lot simpler. But that's the most important thing, guys. Just pay attention to this. Servings per container. So those are guys who you didn't know. So those people who didn't know, well, now you know. So just be a smarter shopper. And like I said, you know, don't get chips maybe instead. You know, sometimes I do, or used to, but now since I gave them up or eat them very rarely. And usually I tend to eat something like popcorn, which is much better for you. But try to make better, healthier choices. But even regardless, even if you're going with junk food, just, you know, this might put you in perspective how many calories you're actually eating. And one more thing, guys, that I forgot to point out is these percent daily values. Now some people assume that this 5% means that's how much fat is in here. This is 5% of the package, which is obviously not true. Or say how much daily fiber. This has 20% fiber, which wouldn't make sense again, but what this means is daily values based on right here, as you see, a 2,000 calorie diet. Now if your diet's about 3,000 or 2,500, it'll be a lot more. Sometimes they do label that next to the side. If you eat 200,000 or 2,500 or a 2,000 calorie diet, they'll label it there. But like again, you can always Google it, use Chronometer, those kind of, you know, nutritional label, or MyFitnessPal is another one. Even though it's a little simplified, but anything that helps. But basically what this means is, this is how much, if you eat a serving of this, how much it attributes to the daily value based on your calorie. So if you eat a 2,000 calorie diet, you're going to get 20 grams of fiber from eating one serving. You eat 2, that's 40 grams, and so on. You don't have to eat exactly, you can eat from other things, but this is just to, guys, help you out when you structure a diet. That's mainly the point of a nutritional label. And another thing right here, it's a little bit of a bad example, but when you go to the ingredients list, as you see right here, usually the less ingredients the better, because you see right here it's just one ingredient. Organic whole grain oats. Nice, but a lot of times they'll have something else. And like a whole huge list. Sometimes chemicals and things you don't need, like additives and preservatives. But one thing also to keep in mind, the main ingredients, so whatever it contains the most of, goes in the beginning. So let's say there was stuff like salt, you know, sugar, etc. If it says whole grain oats first, that means the majority contain oats, and then it goes from the top, which has the most, all the way at the end of the list, that's what it has the least of. Usually that's where the preservative of, because they need just a little bit. But that's just the main example. So another thing just to keep in mind. And another thing, guys, is just if you're vegan or if you have some allergies, they also point that out right here, where it says sometimes it's processed in a facility that uses tree nuts. So if you're allergic to soy, milk, or etc., it might label it there. So just something to keep in mind if you do have food allergies. But of course, you can always just read the nutrition as well. So if you say, hey, it has milk, it has something else, it might not say. So that's another great way. You can just overall use the nutrition label to help you make better dietary choices. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned something. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and stay tuned for more awesome videos. Alright, take care.